questions.
Just proud of our guys, the way they handled everything coming out of Christmas. You know, we were missing two of our best energy guys today with Kamaka and Royce, and just thank you. Just having the ability for everyone else to step forward and, you know, give each other energy. We knew we had to come in here with a commitment to the defensive end. Kansas is a terrific offensive team, terrific defensive team, and our guys really did a good job following the game plan.
Mark Rosner, go ahead.
Sorry, Shaka, if I recall this right, at your introductory press conference, you said that Havoc does not have to be full court. It can be sort of a state of mind and overall attitude, no matter what you do. Is this an example of that?
I mean, if you want to label it that, yeah. It's basketball is a game where the more aggressive team is going to have an advantage. And so that's the way that we've always tried to play any team that I've ever been a part of. You have to fit what you do X and O-wise around the players on your team. And most importantly, they have to feel good about the way you're trying to play. So, you know, today our guys really did a good job of buying into the approach. We played with multiple efforts, and that really allowed us to be good on the defensive end.
Thank you.
Brian Davis, go ahead.
Shaka, I've been with you on some very frustrating post-game walks from the room to radio. How's it feel today?
It feels good. I'm just happy for our guys. Our guys have put so much energy and time and effort into, you know, everything. And this has been a challenging stretch for everybody, not just us at Texas, but, you know, these last several months, you know, and having games canceled and guys having things up in the air, having a couple guys that aren't available that are so important to our team. But the guys just hung in there and control what they could control. So mostly just happy for them.
What, and specifically on Jericho, you know, everybody's been questioning and pushing and wondering. What did you think of his effort today?
I thought he was the most important player in the game. You know, our guards really controlled the game and really, you know, played the way you want older guards to play. But Jericho was our defensive anchor. There's not a lot of guys that can bang with Dave McCormick, and then when Kansas goes small with 5 guards, be out on the perimeter switching on the guards and moving his feet. And then the way he rebounded really set a tone for us. You know, he was going to get the ball. So I thought he was huge tonight, better than his numbers indicate.
Dustin, go ahead.
Yeah, Shaka, I know some things that you'll probably look at and want to point out, maybe the turnovers and things like that. But is this just what you want Texas basketball to look like? Not so much the margin of victory, but the aggressiveness, the full 40 minutes, the length, the guys flying around, Jericho Sims smiling. I mean, is this maybe the best example in a while of what your vision of Texas basketball wants to be?
Well, there's actually a step before that, Dustin, and that step is being connected around winning above all other things. That's what I want it to look like. And I don't know if it's a gift or a curse, but I'm very sensitive to that. Like, I can see what that looks like and what that does not look like. And this is not the first example of it, but this was a good example of our guys truly being connected with each other. And then those other things you mentioned end up being an embodiment of that.
And also, too, I mean, from that perspective, the guys constantly talking on the floor. I mean, Kansas cuts it to 4. You guys didn't blink. You can't.
I think he froze.
Is it freezing?
I think just Dustin froze.
Yeah.
I think we lost Dustin, John.
Yeah, Jeff, go ahead while we wait on Dustin.
Shaka, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. I know I asked you after the Oklahoma State game about Courtney, Matt, and Andrew, that process of those guys continue to play well together. You said if you ever got all 3 of them playing well together, you'd really be clicking on all cylinders. Is today
kind of what you envision when it's all working for all three of those guys on the same day?
I thought they all really gave us key contributions, and there was a stretch where they all were really clicking in the second half on offense. It's exciting because they can even play better, but the thing that they did was they controlled the game from the standpoint of even though we had some turnovers, they got us playing with some pace. They got some other guys involved, and they never got rattled.
And Matt Shaka's talked a lot this year about the maturity of this team. Do you feel like the maturity of this group, that they can take this win and not make this the peak, but build on this and get ideally to where you guys want to be?
Well, we're going to find out for sure. If this is the peak on January 2nd, then that would be really, really disappointing. So it's something that, we'll talk a lot about. And, I asked the guys in the locker room if this was kind of all they wanted. And, obviously that's a rhetorical question. They want more. We've played 2 conference games. We've got a quick turnaround with Iowa State coming in, who's a very, very good offensive team with dangerous weapons. So, there's a lot of things we can take from today and build on. There's also a lot of areas where we can improve.
CJ, go ahead.
Shaka, when I watch you guys from a distance, the togetherness and like the intensity level seems to be at another level. Is that what when you talk about connectedness around winning,
yeah,
those are the things you're talking about? Maybe can you give me an example from the past when you weren't the connectedness to winning and how you are now?
Well, somebody mentioned talk. That's one of the biggest indicators. Just having a willingness to talk to each other and communicate with each other. That's a sign of being connected. Covering for each other on defense. That's a sign of being connected. Like I said, I don't know if it's a gift or a curse, but I can see it pretty good. Like I can see when a guy's about trying to make the team win or when he's not. We're fortunate to have guys that, are very, very locked in on trying to help each other and trying to go get a team win for each other. And that's goes a long way.
How far has this group progressed in those things just over this last year?
I think we've progressed a long way, but what's interesting is it's a daily battle. It's not like you get to the point where, we got it. It's one of those things where, you get a good win like we had today, and now we have to be self-reflective and understanding what allowed us to play well, where we can grow, and got to be focused on improving moving forward and playing well in our next game. Because if you feel like you got it all figured out, that's when you definitely don't.
Cedric, go ahead.
Shaka, we know it's a big win for the 2021 team, but how can a win like this help the culture that you're trying to build at Texas?
Well, I think, Cedric, honestly, what is it? Texas has won one other time here. Is that right? So I think just coming in here and winning for the guys on our team and even guys on our staff, it's a feeling of, okay, we could go do that. And I think the guys did a good job of doing that convincingly. We're going to be in other road environments that, that are challenging. So you can put a game like this in your pocket and you can learn from it in the future. You can understand the blueprint that went into being successful.
Are you going to change your name to Samson because the hair seems to equate to winning?
No, I told you, my wife asked me to keep my hair. I'll tell you a funny story. She gives me this little conditioner that I'm supposed to put in my hair when I get out of the shower. And so I got out of the shower today and I had forgot to bring the conditioner. Obviously I had other things on my mind. So I called her. I said, sorry, I don't know how that's going to look, but I got to go to this game. So she just laughed about it. But, it's trust me, it's not about the hair. It's about, when those guards play the way they did today and Jericho and Kai and Greg and those guys flying around, that's what makes the team win.
Last one, Benjamin.
I suppose you don't need the conditioner, Coach. It looks like it always does.
Exactly.
Real quick, can you describe, with Courtney Ramey, besides scoring and assists, some ways he helped you guys win tonight or today?
Courtney Ramey, I mean, where do I begin? He is truly, truly, truly one of a kind. And, you know, the thing that I respect most about him, and I know this sounds basic, but it is rare, is that he doesn't have a bone in his body that's not 100% about winning. And again, that's a special trait. And then he has a lot of guts. He's really, really able to kind of pull out of himself when it's needed most, a big play on either end of the floor. And so I'm really happy for him. This is, you know, here in Kansas State is kind of the closest he gets to home. So I'm glad that he could, you know, come back to the Midwest and get a big win.